First, I want to say I am so sorry for the loss of your sister. Only those of us who have lost children or siblings in horrific ways, such as murder, can truly understand what we're left with. And as I tell most other people who ask, you don't want to know. It's that bad. You know, domestic violence does not start in adulthood. It starts much, much earlier in the preteen years. I learned that after the horrific murder of my daughter, Lindsay. She was 23, and it was back in 2005. Lindsay had a degree in education. She wanted to be a special ed and elementary school teacher. That was her goal in life. She was a wonderful person, had all the skills and values necessary to be a very effective teacher. She came from a family of educators. My husband, myself, my son, we're all teachers. None of us knew the facts about dating or domestic violence. After her murder, I did a lot of research, and what I learned blew me away. The likelihood that a young person is going to be involved in an abusive relationship during their teen years is extremely high. And as a health teacher, I looked at what I was teaching my own students about substance abuse, about heart disease, and all the other important health issues, and couldn't understand afterwards why on earth were we teaching our young people about dating and domestic violence. So in 2007, working with our then Attorney General Patrick Lynch, and by the way, Attorney General Kilmartin is a very strong supporter, and was a supporter at the time because he was a co-signer of the bill. In 2007, the Rhode Island legislature passed the first comprehensive education bill in the nation, requiring all school districts to have a dating violence policy, requiring staff training at all middle and high schools in Rhode Island, and most importantly, requiring that the topic of dating violence be taught every single year through the health curriculum from grade 7 going right through to grade 12. The law passed within a few months. Implementing the law took several years. That's the hard part. We did it without any funding. It was 2007, the economy was tanking, there was no funding. So the Lindsay Ann Burke Memorial Fund pledged to the state that we would, at no cost, provide free school staff training and donate curriculum materials needed to all health teachers so that they could get the job done in the schools and implement that law. We did all that, and we continue to do that. And we continue to raise awareness through numerous awareness projects in Rhode Island schools. We have come a long way in the schools. But that work cannot end. For as you see, education doesn't stop. It goes on and on. I know in my heart, had Lindsay been properly educated on the topic of dating violence, and she had not learned anything at North Kingstown High School or Bayview, where she graduated from, she would still be with us today. In health class, she learned about substance abuse. She learned about teen pregnancy. She learned about sexually transmitted diseases and a whole host of other important topics and issues. She didn't get pregnant. She didn't use drugs. But she was murdered by an abuser, by an abusive partner. Had she had that education, I believe that it would have helped her to recognize the warning signs. Her friends would have recognized the warning signs, and she would have been able to get out of that relationship safely. I'm getting older each year that passes by. I continue to do the trainings at no cost. We don't have paid staff. We do need prevention funding. I believe we've reached a point in order to ensure that going forward, all of our teens continue to be educated. We have got to support that through prevention funding. I hope that all of you today will join with us in not only believing in the need for prevention funding, but doing something about it. Getting active, talking about it, talking to legislators, and pushing for that, please. There is no one more important than our children. No one. When you lose a child, you lose yourself. You are never the same person again. The devastation that occurs has a ripple effect throughout the families and friends. And that's the least of it, because the most of it is the loss of that child's life. The potential for what they could have done, what they could have accomplished, the gifts that they brought to this world, and how they would have touched others' lives. That has to be our motivating force in moving forward, in making sure that we do have adequate funding for the future so that for generations to come, our teens receive the education that they so rightfully deserve. We can't accept anything